Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I mentioned in a video last week that I was thinking of making a social media planner out of a few months from an Erin Condren life planner, but putting it on a much smaller coil because I really just want to have October, November, and December, and then some notes pages squeezed in between there. So I am no stranger to uncoiling and recoiling my planners. You guys said that you wanted to see this process, so here we go. All you're really going to need is obviously the planner or planners that you are taking apart and putting back together, some binder clips, these are going to save you, and some pliers. I prefer pliers that have little plastic protectors on there. This will help protect your coil. Specifically also if you are using a black coil or a rose gold coil. Those things tend to chip at times, and this will help protect your coil from being like completely destroyed. Also, maybe a glass of wine if you're nervous, but I'm not using any wine today. All right, so what I really want is just, like I said, the month of October through December. So it's really just this teeny tiny part, and I'm not even using the weeks in here at all. So it's actually going to be even less. So the way that I'm going to start this off is I always just take off the covers, kind of get those out of the way, because I feel like they kind of hold things up. I might even keep the folder. Haven't totally decided. I am going to keep the notes section just for some additional notes pages in the back. Now, I find that you really do not need the binder clips for when you are uncoiling. And then the key here is, you see how straight this coil is? That's really not going to work. You're going to want the coil to be as lined up as possible with the rest of the coil, because, and let me try to get in frame. It is hard to do this and stay in frame at the same time, but this will mean less snagging on your pages. That's not too bad when you really look at it. It looks like I won't have too many issues, and then we'll do the same at the bottom of the coil. It's really hard to stay in frame doing this because I need to be close, close to it, but I am trying. All right, so again, I just kind of look at it and see if it lines up pretty well. That's sticking out quite a bit. So I'm just gonna take my pliers and turn it just a smidge so that it lines up a little bit more. And you can see right there, it's lined up perfectly. And here's where you can just kind of start turning the coil. I guess you could use the binder clips when you're uncoiling, but for me, it just doesn't make that big of a difference. And you just start going, and you can just hold it. Like I said, you really don't need the binder clips. I feel like this is probably like my 50th time of doing this. I remember when Erin Condren came out with the Daily Duo, a lot of people were sort of franken-planning their planners and putting daily with weekly and all of that stuff, and I was one of those people who did do that as well. But I've also just uncoiled and recoiled a lot because over the years I just didn't want to pay for like a gold coil, or you know, just little things like that, or I switched layouts or whatever, and I wanted to put it all together you know, at the end of the year so that it was all in one book, so that made it easy. But you do get used to doing this. I should probably just apply for a job there for coiling planners. All right, so I am going to take this vellum right here, the life planner, the front couple of pages there. I don't need the month of September at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and take that out. And like I said, I just want October through December. So here are the pages so far. I don't want the weekly pages, so it's going to be even less than that. I know that I want the folder. I don't know about these stickers. I don't really see myself using these at all, so I'm not going to want those. I do want the notes page section though, but not the contacts. I've always found the contact section pretty strange. So there's that part right there. It looks weird because of the way that the months are lined up. So it's like you have this really strange gap, but for the purpose of what I'm using it for, it's really not that big of a deal. So now I have this notebook, right? So let's take the cover off of here. Sorry, I know that was probably really, really loud. And this notebook is a dot grid notebook. I prefer dot grid pages for notes pages. Now, because this is a little bit of a smaller coil, it's going to be harder to get in here with these larger pliers. I have this other set that I got from the jewelry section at Joann, and they work okay. Again, the whole point is just trying to get it straight. I might just have to jump in with these. The smaller the coil, it is a little harder to get up in here, but I don't want to totally ruin it. So we're just going to straighten that out, and sometimes I'll squeeze down to flatten that bump. Let me show you guys what I'm talking about, but to flatten that bump out right there from uncoiling it. And you just kind of have to give it kind of a tough squeeze there. Okay, so it's not very straight. You see that? We're going to have to straighten that out just a little bit. Make it less of a pain. This one's going to be tough. The small coils from EC are really, really thick, and I'm really trying to flatten this out to make it not tear my pages so much. There we go. Starting to get a little bit better. Trust me that more time you take with this, the more it will pay off in making the uncoiling and coiling process so much easier. So you can see that that looks pretty good. So we're just gonna flatten that side too. With the bigger coil, it's a little bit easier to, let's try this again. I had to pop in a new memory card to film, such as how things go around here. All right, so, all right, now we've got that other side, for the most part, straightened out enough to get this notebook uncoiled without any sort of drama or anything like that. It is a little bit tighter. For some reason, this coil feels slightly thicker than the Life Planner size. So this is kind of where binder clips might help, just to keep the holes lined up and make things go a little bit smoother. But other than that, I don't think you really need them when you're uncoiling. I think that you need them more when you are recoiling. So I'm just going to finish this up and then I'll be right back. All right, I've got the coil off, so I'm going to set that aside really quick because now I want to figure out what pages I want to bring over from the notebook over into these 3 months of my planner. All right, so for October, we have the month view, and yes, I'm using October even though it is more than halfway over at this point. I do want to keep this notes page over here and then the dashboard page. Now this is where I don't necessarily need the weeks, so I am going to take those out, but what I'm going to do is leave that one there, because what I'm going to do is, and let me get these notes pages out of the way that I've already used, I'm going to use about 4 notes pages in between each month. Let's just do 5 to be on the safe side. So then we've got the ending page for October, and then we've got the month of November, the notes page, the dashboard page. And I think what I actually want to do is, because I don't like this lined page, I might just throw in this page right here and I will tape them together. So let me go back to October and do the same thing there. And what I like is that it'll actually be this backside, so there won't be an asterisk there. This will all make sense, I promise. All right, so we've got that dot grid page there. November, again, we're not going to use the weeks because I don't need those. We'll use this last week right here. And then I'm going to use 5 notes pages in here. So there we go, there's 5. And then we've got that line page, December. We want the month view. We want a dot grid here. Then we're going to take out the weeks. There's just no need for them. And then we are going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pages here. All right, and then of course, what I want to do is do a quick flip through before I just say, that's it, I don't need anything else. And I make sure that I have everything that I need for these pages. So we've got the year at a glance, the title page, the month view, some dot grid page for this page right here, the dashboard. This is going to be a lined page, plus a few more pages. And then that's going to be the end there. We have a lined page, title page, month view, the dot grid that's going to cover that page, and then the dashboard, and then a few notes pages. I have to glue some pages together so it will make a little bit more sense. And then we've got December month view, notes page to go with the dashboard page, a few dot grid pages, and then we should go into the notes section, which is great. And I've got a few of those. What I might do is add just a couple more, I'm about to lose my coil, is add just a couple more of these notes pages to the back here. And it doesn't really matter if it's lined, mixed in with the dot grid, they're just notes pages for me. All right, so this is what we've got, and it's actually given me like quite a bit of space. There was more on this coil than there was before, but I think that's plenty of notes pages for this, for what I need for 3 months anyway. When I've used the monthly deluxe before, I honestly didn't always use those pages, but now I think I have an idea of what I want to use those pages for. So here is where I am going to make sure that these holes right here are lined up all the way across. It's going to make recoiling a heck of a lot easier. And I do prefer, when there's more pages, I feel like you need a bottom and a top clip. With these few pages, I don't think that you will need them, but we will see. And I'm just looking at this coil because I feel like I want to straighten this out just a little bit more maybe. Let's go in with this side. This looks like it's going to be easier. So let's get this thing recoiled and ready to go. All right. It is on the coil. I have plenty of space. You can see here that there's still quite a bit of space on the coil. If I really had needed to add more notes pages, I could have done that. So now all I need to do is bend off the coil there, and this is where I'm probably going to use this smaller one just because it's going to be easier to twist the coil down there, and I'm just going to kind of bend it down. And then what I will do, because see how it's kind of sticking outward there, we don't really like that. I'm going to use this set of pliers here to just flatten it, if that makes sense. And have it not stick out so much. And there it's a little bit better, if you can kind of tell there. And then I'm just going to do the same on the bottom. Now it is a little bit harder on those pliers to grip because there's literally, since these are made for jewelry, they're made not to leave imprints on the metal, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to use this side to bring things down a little bit more. And I think that that works. I do tend to check and make sure I don't have any issues with the pages turning and making sure that everything lays flat, and it does. So next what I will do is put a cover on because it makes things feel a little bit more stable. And I'm just gonna put the pumpkin cover back on here because I actually do like it. And it's fitting for the season. It's really pretty. I actually feel like I didn't put enough notes pages on here. It feels a little thin, but you know what? I kind of like it. I do kind of like it. There we go. She's all set. She's just a baby life planner. That is too funny. So now what I will do is I will go in and on the pages that I know I don't need or that need to be taped together, those are the pages that I will focus on. So for the month of October, I know that I needed this dot grid taped over here. I'm just going to grab some Tombow removable adhesive, and the reason why I choose removable is because, you know, it's really easy to make mistakes. And this just makes it a little bit easier so that if you do mistakenly put a page together, then it's not that way forever. So we've got that page right here taped together. I know that I want the dot grid over here for this page, so instead of the lined page. So I'm just going to take the adhesive roller there, and you really don't have to do the whole thing. You're going to go through quite a bit of adhesive if you do that. There we go. And then I think I just have 1 or 2 pages per month after that I need to do, and that will be this page right here at the end of the month. This is one of my favorite adhesives along with the Recollections one from Michaels, but lately mine has been sold out of it, so I haven't had any that I could go ahead and pick up. And there's that dot grid that I want there. And we're going to make sure that that week is covered up. And then we will finish off the month of November with this page being covered with dot grid. And I think I just ran out of tape on that tape runner, but that's why I have a backup. Then we've got the month of December. We're going to put the dot grid here. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're just making sure that the pages are stuck together. And then we're going to cover up this weekly view. And then I think we just have one more at the end of the month. And we are all set. There we go. So now I've got 3 months of a planner on a notebook coil. Now just to kind of give you a quick idea of how I will use this, because I typically don't show my social media planner. So the month view will be where I can map out all of my videos and content for the month and just see it like at a glance. And then of course the dashboard page will include just some goals and analytics for my page. This page I have used before for just like the process video of like the process tracking of my videos. I'll show you guys what I'm kind of doing right now in my half letter. So this will be just the same page replicated over here, just kind of showing where I am with each video for YouTube. And then I will have a page that will have like any expenses and favorites and things like that. And then some pages for notes for videos. And that should be plenty for each month, but we will see. That's why I kind of wanted to just do a few months at a time. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. If you guys have any questions about any of the items used or anything that I did in this video, please feel free to ask down below in the comments. If you like this video, please be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're already subscribed, make sure you click that red notification bell so that you know when my videos are posted here on YouTube. As always, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, everyone.